Hello, welcome to today's video. I will show you how to work with different kinds of closures, and we will start with this. Then we need to remove the clamps, and we also need Now we can open our closure. Here we have the inside. We always have a manual inside the closure and everything you need to work with it. And yeah, here are our splice cassettes. They are also fixed with a screw in the middle. From the splicing cassette, we can open the cassette. And here we have space for 24 splices. And in this closure you have space for 5 cassettes. And overall it's then 120 splices which can fit inside this closure. So now we will start. So this is our first cable for the closure. The very important thing is this rubber grommet. It's very important that the closure is waterproof and nothing can come inside. So here is very important that you cut the tip as small as possible. So when you look at the cable, this hole should be maximum half of the dimension of the cable, because you want that everything fits good and it's not too loosened. For that I will just cut off the tip. Now you can see we have a pretty small hole. The cable is a lot thicker, but it will fit through later. So now I'm gonna step is done. Now a very important thing is to put this clamp over the cable, because later it will save you a lot of time. So don't forget to take this clamp and put it over the cable. Now we are ready to put the rubber grommet on the cable. And here is a very important thing. It will help you to make it easier. In this bag we have a lubricate, and with this lubricate we can put something on the cable. So then we can take the rubber grommet and can start pulling the cable through. The cable fits through. So if the cable doesn't fit through, just a small part more cutting off and then the cable will fit through. So I'm gonna slide this part away. I need it a bit later. Now we can prepare the cable for fixing. So Under this clamp I will use a bit of electrical tape for extra protection of the cable and for not slipping out, that everything holds. Okay, so now we can put the clamp back on the top and fix it with the screws. So in this case we just need one buffer tube, so we have here 48 fibers, but we only need 12. So we can remove the splicing cassette from the top. And down here you have some overlength management, and here you can store your buffer tubes which you don't need, or maybe you want some extra length down there. Then you can also store it here. And then back on top, the splicing cassette. We take our zip ties, fix it here. One time here in the front. And one time here in the back. And here, gonna cut off the buffer tube. And get our fibers for splicing. Also cleaning the fibers. And then we can put them here inside the cassette. So for the second cable, we use a thinner cable. Here only 24 fibers inside. For this cable we also need to put the clamp over it. That's the first step. Then also by this cable we are using some electrical tape here to protect the cable, that it gets a Okay, and also here we need a gummy grommet. And here I'm using a sharp needle to just make a tiny hole in the top, and I would say that's it, and we try to fit the cable through it. Also here I would advise to use some lubricate, putting it on the cable. And then we're gonna try to fit it through. Okay, here it is, it's through. Okay, now we use our electrical tape. So then we can put here also the clamp on, and then fix the cable by okay. Also here, first of all, I will mark my positions of the buffer tube. Like one zip tie here, one zip tie here, and taking off the buffer tube here. Also in this bag, our zip ties. So, removing the buffer tube. Also cleaning the fiber. So now you can also put your fibers here into the splicing cassette. Okay, and now we are ready to splice. So now we are ready to splice. So we take our fibers, our fiber stripper, so then we clean the fiber, then we also need to cut the fiber. And also important, don't forget your heat shrinks, otherwise you need to splice it again. So also here, our fiber stripper. Cleaning the fiber and cutting the fiber. Oh, now the machine is ready to splice. Okay, perfect. Now gonna take our heat shrink. And now we can take this splice out. It's done. Here our second splice. Our heat shrink. Put it inside the heater. Also done. Okay, now splicing is done. So when we are done with splicing, we can start to put the fibers back in. Now we can put our heat shrinks into the heat shrink organ. Okay. Now when our fibers are inside the splicing cassette, everything looks good. We can take the top and put it back. Just make sure that everything is inside, nothing stands out or something. Okay. Then we can put back in the screw. Okay. Now a very important thing is the rubber grommets, that we get them back. Just need some lubricate because it's not that easy. It's a bit tricky, but the closure needs to be waterproof, so okay. Now when your grommet is here, we need another zip tie and put it here on the end, but not only on the cable, it needs to be on the grommet here. So gonna take that zip tie and really strong. Okay. Then you have here also another protection that no water can come inside. Also same step for the second cable. This one is not that hard. Okay. Also a zip tie. So, and here, as you can see, this cable is a bit thicker than this, but we also here had a smaller hole than here, so pretty watch out that this hole is not too big. It should be as small as possible, that there's no water coming inside the closure. have some additional screws for the outside. And here we have a cleaning wipe. It's also important before closing the closure. To clean this rubber seal, that there is no dirt or something on it, because same here, when the rubber seal is dirty or something is on it, the closure won't be waterproof. So you need to make sure that the outside here is clean. Okay, when you have cleaned everything, we can put this grommets on the outside. Then we can put the top back. Now we can put the screws in. So now when the closure is closed with the screws, we can fold back the edges of the grommet. If you have here some struggles by pulling them back, you can also use a bit of lubricate, then it will go easier to fold it back. Okay, here on the other side we don't have cables, so we just take it and put it back inside. And now as a last step, we need our clamps. We can get them. And if you forget to put the clamp over the cable, you can open the clamp also, but it takes a lot of time, and you can save time if you don't forget it and put it first over the cable. Here on the other side, also just put them back. Then take your screwdriver and okay. This is how you work with this closure. Thanks for watching.